Accounting an art or a science? Yes, a big question. Should it be classified as an art or science? Before that, we need to know what is art, what is science. Now, art is an activity that requires creativity, judgment, skill to perform various functions and to achieve desired results. Right? When you are talking about painting as an art, it requires creativity because the painter thinks of a scenario. He may take it from the nature, he may think it on its mind, but it still needs his creativity, judgment to pick up different brushes, a skill to perform various functions, and then he comes out with some desired results. Like it may bring out something which is pleasing to your eyes, ears, or other senses. And yes, it needs discipline and training. So, art has certain characteristics. Creativity is there, judgment is there, training is there. Then you bring out into this world something new, which is satisfying to your senses, which appeals to you. Now, take up accounting and see, are these features applicable to accounting? Does it require creativity, judgment, and skill? Does it need training? Does it bring out something new into this world? Then yes, accounting is an art because it also requires creativity, judgment, and skill to perform various functions like measuring, identification, recording, etc. Because in accounting, the accountant has to be a person with a skill, with a keen eye to identify the transactions and events which should be recorded. He needs to have an understanding to measure the transactions. He needs to have skill to record them and then classify them and then bring out the final results in the form of statements. So, this activity also requires creativity, judgment, and skill. Now, when we talk about financial statements, in that case, the presentation models are set. We have a pre-designed framework within which we show the information. But with the coming of new type of accounting, like cost accounting, management accounting, wherein you are to make tailor-made statements to suit the needs of the person. So, you need to be creative. You need to be judgmental, have the skill to pick up the relevant things and then present it in a form which is understandable, which is appealing. So just like an art, it also needs proper skill and training. Right? Then it also brings out something new. You gave the accountant data in the form of transactions and events, and mind it, there are hundreds of these transactions. Now that accountant is using that information, that is transactions, events, then through the accounting process of classification, recording, classification, and summarization, it brings out some well-designed statements and information which is useful for decision making. So these statements are appealing to your brain. So again, just like an art, it is also coming out with some new information, something new which is appealing, which is helpful in the decision making. So accounting can be classified as an art. Now coming to science. Is it a science? So what is science? Science is an organized body of knowledge based on certain principles. So it is a body of knowledge wherein certain principles are there which this follows all the time. You have understood the principles of physics, chemistry. So if gravity is there, that principle is there. If you drop something, it will fall on ground. It is there. If you take up two components of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen, it will give you water. So it is based on the principles which are going to be applicable. Now, coming to accounting. Accounting is also based on certain principles and standards. Like in accounting, there is a principle that we are to assume business to be a separate identity. We can only work for business when we assume business to be separate from its owner. So, it is based on accounting principles. It is based on certain systems like double entry system, single entry system. So it has its own rules and principles. However, in case of accounting, these rules and principles are constantly evolving because the principles were established on the basis of the customs and practices followed in different countries at different places. Initially, when accounting actually started, when people started having businesses, just go to that era when you started with the businesses. So people had their own ways of recording things, bringing out the results. But as the world is coming together as one place, there are efforts to make the principles uniform, to make the statements uniform, standardized. So the principles of accounting, they are not exact like science. They are continuously improving. So yes, it is a science because it is based on principles, but it is not an exact science. We cannot say it is an exact science just like normal, natural sciences that we study. Because you give the data to a person, then he will bring out different statements based on his own knowledge and the requirement. So it is science, it is based on principles, but principles are continuously evolving. So it is not an exact science, but it is a soft science which is changing over time. But in nutshell, what we can say that it is both an art as well as a science. Because just like an art, it has, it has creativity. It needs judgment. It requires skill and training. Then it brings out something new, something appealing. Something may appeal to your eyes, something may appeal to your brain. So it is bringing out something new for your brain to make your decisions regarding financing, regarding a business. So it is an art. Just like science, it has its own set of rules, principles, you give them any name, or standards. So, based on this discussion, what we can say is accounting is both an art as well as a science. Thank you.